15 tips for old and new players that'll smooth out your experience in New World. Hey everyone, I'm Barkley, and if you have any tricks that you feel are underappreciated or underrated, let's see them below in the comments section. Now let's get right into it. Tip 1. Use the right weapons for the job. Be prepared. Enemies have 2 to 3 things they are strong against and 2 things they are weak against. And there's enemy type damage perks on weapons. With the recent buff to elite mobs and elite zones, which I know a lot of people aren't happy about, this is the time to use them. The content is harder, but saying sirens and mines aren't something you can 10-man anymore, that's just not true. For example, I'm a Great Axe user. The Reformation is a 580 legendary Great Axe quest reward that has 18% more damage to corrupted enemies. Corrupted enemies are neutral to slash damage, but I can still put a Sapphire gem and turn 50% of that damage to arcane, which they are weak against. Even a blue weapon with the right perks and gems can shred difficult content, so just make sure you're not salvaging any weapon that you could be benefiting from. Additionally, damage trophies, honing stones, stat food, and weapon coatings are in that same category of things that can make content easier if you invest into them. They aren't necessary, but if you feel like you need a little bit of extra damage, this is a way to get it. This is a topic I want to dedicate a whole video to in the future. Tip 2. Heavy attacks drain the stamina bar. Draining the stamina bar will stun bigger enemies. You see this yellow bar? It's enemy stamina. They made the bar take more effort to break when they buffed enemies, but it's still something you can do. Melee is better at it than ranged, but everyone will appreciate you draining the stamina of that mob, especially tanks and healers. Tip 3. When you see the red surrounding the enemy's bar, this means you have aggro. And if you do get aggro, it is wise to run away. I get that. But if you do get aggro and your tank is alive, kite towards them. Taunts don't have a long range in the game, and a tank running after you isn't blocking. So instead, try to kite in a way that your tank will be able to get aggro back. Tip 4. There's a setting that shows both weapons you have equipped, and one to show cooldowns above your health bar. It just makes things easier to keep track of. Tip 5. If you're running around with a lot of people, like in elite farms, when you're not in combat, you can sheath your weapon to remove player collision. Tip 6. You can hold Ctrl S and click to quick salvage items. This can save you some time. You can also repair this way. And while you're thinking of clicking, don't forget to click the subscribe button and like the video. Let's get back to it. Tip 7 is how to hit 500 total stats. I've seen people confused about this, so let's go through it. Most builds go 300 in one stat and 200 in another. So we'll use that as an example. You start with 5 in each stat, giving you a total of 10. Leveling to 60 gives you 190 attribute points to spend, putting you at 200. Each piece of armor gives 25 at 600 gear score. This includes jewelry. There's a total of 8 pieces. 8 times 25 is 200, giving you a total of 400 stats. Weapons give up to 30 apiece, putting you at 460. And tier 5 food gives you 40 stats, putting you at 500. Tip 8. Holding block can help you climb up some things. It doesn't work on everything, but you can use this in some pretty creative ways sometimes. Tip 9. To avoid the cost fees of mass production of some foods and potions, you can cook things like hearty meals and infused health potions at your camp to prevent being taxed. Keep in mind you'll need a tier 5 camp to make tier 5 consumables. Tip 10. You can put water and raw food on your bar to prevent them from weighing you down. Also, water can be used to regenerate health, albeit very slowly. Tip 11. Don't forget your daily faction missions. You get 3 daily faction missions a day, and they give 10 times the gold. You can make anywhere from 300 to 720 gold in 15 to 20 minutes. I like the Reek Water missions. The Elite Zone missions can give you 240 gold apiece if you're willing to cycle through them. The missions reset every 24 hours from whenever you do them. All in all, it's a nice chunk of gold to cover some of your daily costs. Tip 12. Dungeons drop green materials to craft bind on pickup gear. Let's take a look at the Dryad Guard breastplate. It comes with Constitution on it, so that's one stat that won't be messed up by RNG. You can pick whatever craft mod you want, and that really cuts down the amount of variables you need to deal with. If you get the chunk of concentrated iron from the faction vendor, you're already crafting a piece that is comparable to Void Bent. If you get a useful skill perk, you've surpassed Void Bent in most cases. Tip 13. If you craft an item with metal in its name that is based off of wood or leather, you can use a lower tier metal and get the metal in its name. For example, if you craft an orichalcum fire staff and use iron instead of orichalcum, when you salvage it, you'll get orichalcum back. I imagine this is going to be fixed soon, but that's why the price of ironwood has begun to raise. Tip 14. If you hold down the ping button, you get options for what type of marker you want to drop. Tip 15. Tier 4 materials sell very well, so if you want to gather for money and not craft, consider these. I'm under the impression they sell for more because at the lower level, bots are a huge issue right now. And at the higher level, things like Ironhide are easy to come across while farming elites. And that leaves tier 4 materials that you wouldn't come across naturally. And that's it for my tips. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.